Hari Om and welcome to all the Divine Atma Jyotis to today's AVSC Satsang. Let us continue our contemplation of Advaita Makaranda based on Sri Prabhuji's talks. Right now, we are on Day-1 talk. In our last session, we contemplated on the very first question that we have framed based on the talks. That is, what is Advaita? And we looked at how to explain that using our day-to-day examples. So today we will begin with the second question. What is Brahmananda or joy of liberation? So those of you who would have already listened to Prabhuji's talks, so these words are mentioned. And also there's a brief explanation. So let us go deeper into this. What is Brahmananda or joy of liberation? That is the primary question with which we will begin our manana today. Is there anyone who wants to volunteer with initial viewpoint? According to you, what is Brahmananda or what is joy of liberation? You can also look at what is liberation itself in the first place, and then joy of liberation.
Right.
Yes, please.
So, how I understand Brahmananda is, so the word itself, there are two parts to the word, Brahman and Ananda. So how I understand is the Ananda or the bliss arising from situated in Brahman is what is Brahmananda. What do you mean by situated in Brahman? So we all are in search of some happiness. We want that eternal happiness to always be there, and all that desire to be happy all the time is what drives our actions, and we are constantly trying to get that happiness through accumulation of various things, whether it is material things or whether it is something abstract like fame or promotions and things like that. Even in our relationship, the constant thing is what I can get from associating with this person or attachment to this person, and in search of that happiness, uh, we keep doing actions in the outer world. However, uh, the ignorance of the true self is what is making us seek seek for the eternal outside in the external world. So usually you're always associated, the actions you do are associated with either the body or the mind or the intellect. So it is always I am the doer, I have to keep doing something to get something, is the motive behind which all the actions are directed. So once we realize that uh, who I truly am, then we don't have to seek this eternal happiness outside us, but we can start going deep within ourselves to have that, to remove that sense of incompleteness or lack because of which we are searching for happiness in the external world. So once that establishment in the truth who I really am is there, then uh, we can be situated in that. Then we realize that I don't have to search it outside, but it is something deep within me, and the quest for it outside ends. And in that realization that who I am is the ananda there, and that ananda is something which is not temporary, but it is permanent. So that is how I understand that term, sir.
Wonderful, Ji. So one word of encouragement for everyone here is that when we are expressing in the Manana session, let us express in a personal tone. At the when we are explaining anything, what it means to me. So
Yeah, yes, sir.
if I can say in that
Yes, sir.
viewpoint.
Sorry, yeah, I used the word we. Yeah, sure. Yeah, got it.
So does anyone have any questions for Padma ji, or anything that you want to add more to what Padma ji has said? Okay, so I have a couple of questions, Padma ji.
Yes, sir.
You said situated in Brahman.
Mm.
So what does it mean? So to be situated. So is it like uh, you are situated somewhere else and you need to be situated back? What does it mean to be situated?
Yeah.
Is there
So,
any particular way to get there? Can you please explain?
yeah. So, all the actions are first starting from a thought that I have to do this, a thought that I have to be happy, a thought that if I get a house, I'll be happy. So the origin of everything is a thought. So the thought that I am Brahman, when you keep saying that to yourself, then it becomes deep rooted within us. For example, if I take my example, when I come to this class, I'm reading about all the scriptures. And whether it was Tattva Bodha, whether it was Aparoksha Anubhuti, the essence of all the scriptures is I am Brahman or you are Brahman. So, but coming to this class for 1 hour, that time I understand everything. I seem to realize that I am Brahman. And but when once I step out of this class, the conflicts, the situations that are coming to me, that all kind of clouds that knowledge which I gain in this 1 hour, and I am not able to again be that time that thought that I am Brahman is not coming to you naturally. So what is happening is you again go into the flow of the roles that you play, and you tend to react sometime instead of respond. However, if that I am Brahman thought is deep rooted within you, so even at a subconscious level, you are always reminded at the background, you know that you are Brahman. So the actions that you are performing in the external will be influenced by that deep rooted thought that you have within, that I am Brahman. So I am not the one who is getting affected by whatever is coming towards me, the situations, the people, maybe the insults, maybe the praise. All these things are not going to have any effect on the eternal me, uh, the real me. So that strengthening of that thought that I am Brahman can only give you that. So it is not that you are somewhere else and you need to be situated in Brahman. It is just that the realization that I am Brahman, and to be constantly in that thought. Why you need to be constantly in that thought is, each day we are playing various roles as a mother. Sorry, not we. I am playing various roles as a mother, as a woman, as a wife, as a daughter-in-law. So most of the time, we have certain conditionings and sanskaras that we carry, and we are also constantly building up those conditions depending upon our experiences that we have in these various roles we play. So, just like we keep strengthening those thoughts that I am a woman, and I am a mother. So, as a mother, I do this. So, all these have to eliminate slowly. And for that, the replacement of a thought with a higher thought is important. So the higher thought here is, I am Brahman, I am the eternal truth, nothing is happening to me, I am just playing a role. So this is the what I mean by being situated in Brahman.
So strengthening the I am Brahman thought, Brahmakara Vritti, is what
Yes,
you are referring as getting situated.
yes, sir.
Okay, wonderful. So, any other questions to Padmaji? Sarunji, would you like to?
Yeah, just waiting to see if anyone wants to start.
Rajita ji,
Can
you
I?
have something to
Yes.
add? Yes, yes. Go ahead, please. Yeah.
Can I express my understanding?
Please,
Vijay?
please. Yes.
As Padmaji said, uh, uh, identifying uh, identifying myself as Brahman is the toughest thing, because we are always identified as um, mother or daughter or daughter-in-law by the society, that we are programmed from from my childhood. So that programming has gone into my subconscious mind. So suddenly, if I have to change that programming, it will be a challenge. So hence, the satsanga plays a very important role, um, which I have been seeing from past 4 5 years. So being in satsanga is very important to perform Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasa, because satsanga will amplify that feeling in us. Like I am Brahman, I am of infinite nature. Ananda is in me only. The bliss is in me only. I need not go and search anywhere. So I have seen that in my personal life. So before joining to Light of the Self Foundation, I used to feel that I get bliss from my kids and from my career, from the money. So I used to struggle for that. Like as Guruji mentioned, we are all honey. I am a honeybee. So I used to uh, take happiness from my kids, and when they are not favorable to the situation, I used to curse this world. So and I used to get happiness from my colleagues. I like that. So as a honeybee, I was trying to gather happiness from all the situations, and my expectations were very high. So once I am in this satsanga, so I realized slowly, as the Shravana classes and Manana classes were going on with Katyayaniji's and my AVSC, all the members of the AVSC. So I realized that I don't get a bliss from outside world. So bliss is inside me. That can be realized, and we can uh, make that thinking strong. That means we can take that. See, as Guruji says in one example, if you have a glass of water where which is mixed with ink. So when if you want to get the clear water, then you need to pour more and more uh, the clean water. So in the same way, our subconscious mind is filled with all the identifications. Like as I said earlier, mother, I'm a all the unnecessary things which will cause you limitation to this body. So when if I want to get rid of all those thoughts, I realized that only with the help of Satsanga, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa, we can fill that glass with pure water, clear water. Daily we have to fill, daily we have to clean the water. So so that I can realize that I am of that infinite nature, that is uh, Purnatva can be realized. So once I realize that Purnatva, that joy of liberation, that peace of liberation, which Advaita Makaranda talks about, can be realized easily. So that is what my understanding. Thank you.
Wonderful, Ji. Very well put. Thank you. Anyone has questions for Rajita Ji's expression? Is there anyone else also interested to express your views on second question? What is yes, sir,
Yeah,
please.
Vijay, Hari Om.
Hari
So,
Om.
liberation, I would like to start with liberation saying that so when we wake up in the early morning, right, we are like bounded by so many duties or so many responsibilities or so many expectations. So to get free from such thoughts or such, I mean, not that getting into lazy mode, but to be in a continuous mode, like not getting carried away from such heaviness of mind, that's what I would like to see. That is the coming out of such. Experiences such thought uh, and to be in spontaneity or to connect with the present moment and things will happen the way it has to. So it is difficult to come into that mode, but that is the liberation, and out of that experience, the joy that you experience would be Brahmananda.
Very nice. Very well put.
Okay.
Anyone else interested to express?
May I, Vijayji?
Yes, please, Ji.
So, generally, when we take the nature of human, when we see a kid, so the kid wants to play and play. That is their primary goal. When we see some elderly person, say like my father, they are usually obsessed with listening to news. So why they are actually repeating the same thing? Because they are finding happiness in that. So there may be some people who are fond of cooking. There may be people who are fond of shopping or doing gardening. They have choices. Why they do that? Why they say that that is their passion? Because they are finding happiness in that. So actually, as humans, they are moving towards, they are searching or hunting for happiness in their actions. And actually, when we see the part happiness is always there. Sometimes it is very much near to us. Sometimes it is a bit far from us. For example, if we take a kid going to school, when the kid is sitting in a kid who is very much interested in playing outside, when that kid is sitting at a class, say in English class or math class, his mind may be listening to the class, what the teacher is taking. But the other part is always longing to go out and play. So in that case, the ananda, the happiness is a bit away, but happiness is always there. When the child goes out to play, the happiness is very much near. So the child is reaching the happiness and enjoying it more. So generally, the path we are in is to realize this moving away from our vasanas and samskaras, or a like and dislike, and finding the happiness in everywhere. And gradually looking into the Sat and Chit around everything, in everything around us. That is Ananda. And why we call it liberation? Because it is a freedom. The freedom from the limitations, from the conditions that we have received from the society, or our misunderstanding. The liberation is the freedom from the misunderstandings, or misconceptions, or anything. So, and understanding that I am one with the cosmos is Brahmananda. So Brahmananda is realizing Ananda, understanding Ananda, and moving towards Brahman. And understanding that I am always happy. That is my true nature. So that is it.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you, Ji. Anyone else? Deepa Ji, Vidya Ji, Kamala Ji, would you like to express? Sarvana Ji, you would like to?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, please.
So yeah, so even Kamaji was saying, naturally there are these actions that seem to be giving Ananda very quickly, or sometimes they're far away, and like when they are far away, one is looking for the Ananda from that action that is going to give. Right? By the learning of Advaita, Vedanta is telling us that it is not that action that is giving that happiness. I am the very source of that happiness of Ananda. Right? Then the question that comes is like, should I stop doing all the things, whatever I'm doing all the time? Right? It seems like I'm a lot more energetic, enthusiastic, motivated to do something. Right? When I start the day, to be in that state of happiness, because I feel I am happy when I'm doing something that I like. Right? So thinking on that, the answer I get from this text is no. I cannot sit. I cannot sit quiet. I cannot not do the work I do. It is just the change in the attitude, in the perception that I'm doing it as my dharma, right? As a duty for the roles I'm playing, and not trying to seek happiness from that. And that at the same time, that doesn't mean that I do it without a connection. Rather, I continue to do it in a perfect way, as if I am going to offer that very act to to God. Right? Then I will be fully involved, continue to be fully involved the way I was before. It's just that there is a small change in the way I do it. Right? And when I am not looking for that happiness from outside, that is the joy of liberation I'm getting. It's not that like someone from outside is going to give me either that happiness or unhappiness. They are not going to make me unhappy, right? So so the next thing is, okay, then theory this is good. In practice, what happens? Because as Satish ji was saying, once I get up, looks like all the thoughts rush through, like, oh, I have to do this, that, and like without even realizing, like I'm like deep into the ocean of karmas, right? And sometimes it's like only when I'm about to crash, the end of the day, the thought comes up that, oh, I am Brahman, I am not attached to all these things, I shouldn't be. What happened? Right? So how do I stay? How do I stay in that both the modes? Um, uh, Padmaji was saying, right? Established in state of Brahman and sail through that. Um, that's where, yeah, I can see that the satsanga helps, because it's not that knowledge I get it one time that helps me, that you know what, I know it, let me go drive. No, the moment you know it, you feel, and like you go out, the the old subconsciously held all the vasanas and ignorance just takes over and pushes you. So the thing is, I have to uh, do this manana more often, so that like I'm able to um, go through the day, drive the day with this truth, that like whatever happens, whatever comes, um, you are not going to or trying to get happiness from there. And like, you know, at the same time, it doesn't mean like there is some Brahmananda is again like this, not something like it's there all the time. In the sense, I realize things like, oh, I am happy now. It doesn't come like that. It is, I guess, even expecting that like some kind of Ananda feeling is not the right one. Rather, it just be and just do what I have to do, and stay, right. Uh, and I can try to recollect, remember all these uh, great teachings, that helps me stay close um, to my reality. Okay, that's how I put it, Brahmananda.
Very nice. Very nice. So many wonderful expressions. Thank you, Ji. Any other viewpoint? Anybody else would like to express? Yes, Deepaji, go ahead, please.
Sir, I would like to go with the first question. What is Advaita?
Yes, Ji.
Advaita means non-duality, where I feel oneness with everything around me. And example, a day-to-day example which I can give you is when I go to school, uh, uh, during my period, I actually feel one with the children when I teach them, and the way they think and all. It actually drives me towards my childhood, the way I was, and at the end of the session or the period, I feel very much satisfied being with them. So that the time that I've spent with them actually makes me feel very much satisfied. But after that again after I come out, everything will be the way it was, like sometimes the disturbed mind. So here I would just like to tell you that the oneness that I feel when I am with the children is nothing but the non-duality. Then what is Brahmananda? Brahmananda, um, it is again the happiness itself, the blissfulness. For example, mm, um, this actually uh, a little this is difficult for me to express that. Blissfulness I feel very rarely. Uh, mm, when my mind has got some conflicts, uh, I actually will be fully uh, trying to be uh, going with the spirituality, uh, following all the things that a spiritual person does and all. But when I'm happy or happy with the uh, material world, the meditation won't happen. So I was feeling if it is due to the problems that we face in life, and which actually makes us to follow some path. And what I'm trying to tell you is, when I have got some problems, sir, when I try to meditate and all, the meditation happens. But when I'm happy with the material world here, the mind will be after what I had undergone that day, the happiness that I felt that day, all those things would be recollected in the mind, and the meditation doesn't happen.
What is the connection between that and Brahmananda? So what you described just now was, there are days when mind is disturbed. Actually, during that time, you are saying meditation happens for you. You are able to sit and close your eyes and go into whatever the practice of meditation that you're doing.
Yeah,
But
there
there
will be
are days
full
when,
concentration.
sorry,
There will be full concentration, sir.
is what you are saying.
Yeah,
However, you are saying that there are days when, positive situations have happened and you are not able to meditate. Okay, that is what you're describing. When you are able to meditate and when you are not able to meditate is what you're describing. What has
yeah.
that got to do with Brahmananda?
No, I was having a doubt, sir. Uh, are the positive situations in life the hindrance to feel one with God?
Okay. So, in the first place, Ji, your viewpoint about what is Brahmananda or joy of liberation, how would you put a simple sentence to that? What is the
Uh,
feeling or what is the image that you get when you hear Brahmananda or joy of liberation?
being happy without depending on the circumstances outside.
Excellent,
Uh,
excellent. It couldn't be any simpler, right? So
yeah,
I'm happy irrespective of situations.
yeah,
That's another way of putting it, isn't it?
yes,
Whatever may be the situation or circumstance, but I am unperturbed, I am undisturbed. About what? About my own sense of happiness and my own well being. Correct?
yeah.
Okay. Now, what is your question, Ji?
The question is, if the life is going on smooth, um, should I take it positively, or should I feel if I am in problem, I will be able to uh, be in this path, and there'll not be any kind of hindrance? Should I take the problems as um, something that is driving me towards spirituality? Should I take it positively or negatively?
Okay, so let me see if I can phrase your question clearly.
Yeah.
So, if there are disturbing situations, how should I view the disturbing situations?
Yes, sir.
Is that what you are asking?
Yeah.
Okay. So, let me kind of toss it back to you in a different way. What do you think empowers you? What do you think helps you when there is a situation happening? In what way, when you look at the situation, it helps you feel in freedom? Let's imagine, children in your classroom are disturbing. They're making a lot of noise.
Mm.
Does that disturb you? Because you said, you really enjoy being with the children. So being with the children means children sometimes can be very noisy. Sometimes they will answer your questions. Sometimes they may give totally irrelevant answer. So they have various ranges of behavior and also emotional outbursts. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do those things disturb you?
Not exactly, sir. It is their nature. So I don't feel that much disturbed, but I manage the class.
Excellent. Excellent. You said some very important truth. So what has enabled you to be at peace even when they are disturbing or even when they are noisy or when they are following? What has enabled you to be okay with them? Is your sentence, which is, it is their nature, sir. That is what you said. Correct?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? It is their nature, sir.
Children children are supposed to be like that. If they are serious like us, then they'll not be called children.
Very good. So, correct. No, very simple. No. It's
Yes.
their nature. So, for example, what is the nature of fire?
To burn.
What is the nature of wind?
Uh, Wind
Say
is to,
to blow, to move.
yeah,
What is the nature of chili?
to be spicy,
What is the nature of sugar?
to be sweet,
What is the nature of someone who criticizes?
just to find faults.
What is the nature of someone who boasts?
Someone who,
Who's very boastful?
okay, boasting. Um, Boasting. Just to keep saying something good about themselves.
So, like that, in life, when you start noticing whether it is things or in terms of the behavior, people seem to have certain nature, correct? Just like how your children have.
Yeah.
What has enabled you to be in freedom in the class with your children?
Mhm.
What has made you free, even though they are making noise, even though they are jumping up and down? What
It is
thought in you has enabled you to be okay with that?
Understanding their nature.
Saying that this is their nature.
Yeah.
Now, if let's say, even though it is their nature, do you simply let it be? For example, if a child is constantly disturbing in the class, you know it is the nature of the children, but you have to continue the class. So what will you do when a child is not making noise in the class?
I'll have to sometimes punish the child also, sir.
Knowing fully well it is their nature, you still have to take some actions, right?
Yeah.
When you take such actions, do they bother you? Does it bother you what action you take?
No, sir.
Why it doesn't bother you?
Because the child has to change. And for that, the punishments may change the child.
As a teacher, you have some goal, some outcome that you are looking for the entire class, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whatever the topic. What topic you teach, G, by the way?
English, sir.
English. So you want all your children to learn English better, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if therefore a child is making noise, you will look at employing different ideas. It is not
Yes.
that every time you will go and beat the child, no.
Yeah.
What do you think is the best solution if a child is making noise in the class?
Just listen to the child if it wants to say something. And if the child is really very much disturbing, can let know the child that it is disturbing the class and not to do that. And at last, the severe punishment would have to be given, sir.
Excellent, right? So like that, different kinds of ideas. If I keep prompting you, you will come up with, I'm sure, many other ideas. What can be called as sama, dana, danda, beda, the general, broadly four kinds of progressions in how to deal with the situation.
Yeah.
But you didn't say that any of this disturbs you. Why? Because first is your acceptance of their nature. Second is you know fully well as a teacher what is the outcome you're looking for from the class. Correct?
Yeah.
Now, what is stopping you from applying the same thing in your so-called day-to-day situations outside of the classroom?
It is the nature of the mind
So,
to create such
for
thoughts.
example, when you look at your own home, if let's say, for example, you change the viewpoint that it is my husband and my daughter and my mother-in-law and my sister or whoever you have in your family, it's my classroom. Okay, the so-called husband child has this nature. The so-called daughter child has this nature. The so-called mother-in-law child has this nature. Is it possible or not?
No, sir. The people outside are not creating any problem to me, sir. It
Hmm.
is just my mind, sir.
True, that is at the most fundamental level, it is always your mind and my mind, because nobody else can ever bother you. In how you
Every, everyone around me, they are cooperative, sir. They are
hmm,
very much understanding.
hmm.
It is just my mind that is creating the problem.
So with the children, when you are in the classroom, the same mind is cooperative with you.
Yeah.
How is it so? How is it so? It's the same mind. It is not that you have something else. How is it so cooperative and so wonderful, where you actually feel, as an example for Advaita, It is your classroom. That is an example for Advaita. Excellent example. Where you feel, you're totally one with whatever that is happening in the classroom.
Yeah.
So it's the same mind that has enabled you.
Yes, sir.
What is that in the mind? What is the thinking in the mind? What is the feeling in the heart that has enabled you to be like that in the classroom?
It is myself.
True, yourself only. But what in you? What thinking in the mind and what feeling in the heart has enabled you to be like that in the classroom? What is the feeling you have towards these children in the classroom?
I love them, sir.
I love them. So the feeling of love is what you carry to the classroom. And when you're dealing with the children, the thinking is, this is their nature. Let me accept the way they are. Then let me see whether something needs to be modified. That is the thinking, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the love in the heart and the acceptance in the mind, and then looking to, okay, what is the best way to modify, is what has put you as a witness to that whole situation. You don't feel disturbed. You're looking at it like what is the best way I can be in this situation?
Yes.
Does it make sense, Ji, in the classroom
Yes.
setup?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now that you have that experience, can you take that to the outside of the classroom?
Yeah. Just to witness the mind and to be accepting that it is the nature of the mind to wander.
That's all it is, no? In
Yes.
fact, your mind is like that child.
Yes, sir.
No need to be harsh on the child.
Yes, sir.
Slowly, slowly, it will also learn. Anything else, Ji?
No, sir. Thank you very much.
Does anyone else have any? Yes, and word, please, Ji.
From the conversation, Vijayji, I want to also add one more definition for Brahmananda.
Please, Ji.
Uh, Brahmananda is understanding that I am the source of the happiness, and removing all the tax that I create myself with according to the situation that is happening outside, and go back to the source and say, Arey Baba, I'm always happy. It is happening around me. It is Brahmananda.
Very nice. Vareva Baba. Very nice.
Vijayji, there's one doubt, like Friday satsang in the Bhagavad Gita for Gita stanza number 5. The questions Padma Bhairappa ji asked about. Here we are delving about Brahmananda. There, the question was about Paramananda. So, would both mean the same?
So, in terms of the words, when you look at it, Parama Ananda. Parama means what? Parama means ultimate.
Ultimate, yeah.
So there cannot be something beyond that.
Okay.
Brahma, Ananda. Brahma means, so again, in terms of understanding, we are looking at someone called as Brahma or Brahman.
Yeah.
The question actually is very simple. The question is, are you happy, truly happy? And are you truly happy independent of whatever is happening around you? And observe the answer. Oh, I'm happy doing that. I'm happy doing this. I'm happy in that situation. I'm happy with this person. Then those limitations, like how wonderfully Anupamaji put it, Are Baba, I'm making my happiness dependent on something. So as long as my happiness is, if I express my happiness as, my happiness is due to, the moment I describe whatever next to that due to, it is because of my money, because of my daughter, because of my son, because of my degree, because of my whatever else I describe, because of my culture, because of my whatever else I describe, no? All of those are my limitations. So Brahmananda, Paramananda, Purnananda is to be liberated from those limitations. That is why it is called joy of liberation. Liberation means what? I must be bound somewhere. What am I bound with? I'm bound with conditions. I am happy when, that is one condition. When I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm with them, I'm eating this. So all these parts of the sentences that come, no, next to I'm happy because of, all of those are my limitations. They are my bondages. So the joy of liberation or Paramananda or Brahmananda is to be free from all these limitations. By knowing that I am the source of happiness. I am happiness. The happiness is not because of something.
So these are all per se sayings, right? But and those experiences really give you that ananda. But how do we get into the mode? Is again from sadhana, or as you say, Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasa, right? Or to get
Can
rooted.
you kindly phrase the question again? Can you frame the question?
How to get rooted into this? Like, yeah, that's because those are like, I feel those are real happiness. I mean, when I eat my favorite ice cream, or when I do my favorite job, or when I'm with the closest relation that I like to be. Those give us I mean, those what you call endomorphins or whatever, the hormones that get released, right? Because of those situations. But here we say that we are already that, but that experience when we have that and when we don't have that, but to believe that you are always that, it puts us into a different slots, right? So, I mean, these are all per se sayings, one thought that rises, and the other thought says you're already that. But how do I stay into this is also a one thought. And also the other thought says, yeah, keep listening, do the manana, do the nididhyasa, then you get into it. So all these mixed modes are there. So that's
Correct.
where I come back. How do we get rooted?
How do you get rooted? Yeah, yeah. Also, I saw that Ashaji raised her hand. Ashaji, you wanted to add to that, or you wanted to say something?
No, Ji, actually, maybe once everybody completes, I just wanted to introduce and answer the first question.
Okay, Ji. So, Satish Ji, first thing is, it is our so-called societal education that corrupts, in a way, the inherent nature. Very simple question, Ji. Have you noticed a small baby? And when you have noticed a
Yeah.
small baby, don't you notice there is a sense of joy that is
Yeah.
already there in the baby?
Yeah, it radiates. And
It
when we
radiates,
see, yeah,
right?
we also get into it. Yeah.
You also get into it, right? Most often, even the toughest of the tough, they become like a child with a child, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just the very nature of how you talk, how you say, and even if the child does something that is little outside of your, let's say, comfort level, you're okay because
Yeah.
it's a child, it's
Say,
innocent, right?
yeah.
Now notice, G, um, as somebody so-called grows in life, what happens to that radiant joy, G?
Yeah, it loses out. But if we behave like that also, then comes the question of
Wait,
maturity.
wait,
How
wait, wait.
mature? Yeah.
Let's not
Yeah. Yeah.
understand one step at a time. Let's not add a but immediately.
Yeah.
So the question is, you are observing that as somebody grows through life, they lose that, correct?
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay. So usually that's why we call it as a long phase. So what was a very joyful phase has become a long phase, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're long like this, correct? Ayappa, Ussappa, all those expressions come because of the long phase, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, now the question, G, is what changed that made the joyful to become this long phase?
Yeah. So many strings got attached, responsibilities, etc. Yeah.
Uh, Especially a small child, a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, also has a lot of responsibilities. So many games to play.
Yeah.
But does it ever get tired when it is playing those games?
The expectations change. Yeah. No. Yeah.
No, no, no. Please focus on the question. The child is also doing a lot of things. See, if in terms
Mm.
of the activities, right? See, at the end of the day, you and I are also doing so many things, so-called so many things. What is that? Get up, brush, eat, read newspaper, go to office, click, 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 tap in front of computer, or whatever the work that you and I are doing, or talk to that person, talk to this person. So there seems to be full of activities, right? If
Yeah.
you are a simply an outside observer, when you look at a child and when you look at an adult, both of them are engaged in activities, correct?
Yeah.
In terms of outside observation, both seem to be, displaying a set of activities. But in fact, the number of activities that a child does seem to have a sense of energy all through the day compared to an adult. What makes a difference, G?
Sorry, I just got a doorbell. I missed your last sentence.
No, sure. No, no problem. Let me
A
repeat.
milkman. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Shall we continue?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm done.
So my question is, so a child also is involved in so many activities through the day.
Right.
So-called adult is also involved in so many activities through the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
However, the nature of the involvement of a child seems to be, especially when it is allowed to play games, right?
Yeah.
Unless an adult is interfering, it seems to be full of joy, correct?
Yeah.
Energetic, happy, bouncing up and down through the day, it is bouncing, correct?
Yeah.
Where an adult seems to be having lots of up and down. Every half an hour, they need some shot called as a coffee, tea, or otherwise
Stimulus.
need a
Yeah.
break, right?
Yeah.
And many adults also need a bigger shot in the night. They need, they need to go to a place called bar because they're so tired of doing the work, correct?
Mm. Mm.
Or they need relaxation called vacation, right?
Mm.
That's what an adult's way of activity, right?
Yeah.
The question is, G, what makes a difference? Both are involved in activities. What
Right.
makes a difference?
I think the child doesn't carry the baggage there. I believe.
When you say it doesn't carry the baggage, what may be the baggage that a child is not carrying that an adult is carrying, G?
It moves to the next mode. I mean, it doesn't carry forward the expectations or the experience.
Meaning what, G? So what is the baggage that you referred? Excellent observation. But what is the baggage consisting of, G?
Um, Maybe I wanted to happen it in a different way, but it happened in another way. So those feelings that come out, right, because of the shortcomings. So those experiences have to be, dropped, but it continues. One as a learning, one as a experience. So the bitterment has to be dropped, and the learning has to be picked up. But it happens the other way. That's the baggage, I guess.
The baggage of past and the future.
Yeah.
So that's what the great masters have resolved it as essentially your baggage as three kinds of things, G. That I am the doer, that I am the enjoyer, that I am the knower. In Vedantic terms, I am the knower, I am the doer, I am the enjoyer. These three are the primary ingredients of that baggage. When I think that I am doing and I need the fruits of this, whatever I'm doing, that I need to enjoy, that is the biggest baggage. That I am this knower in terms of, I'm knowledgeable, not knowledgeable, I know this, I don't know this. All this also become another part of the baggage. So these three is what my bag consists of, G. What any adult's bag consists of. You know how much I've done, but look at how they treat me. I put my blood and sweat for this project, but who got the increment? If this is the increment that I'm going to get, how will I work? I will show them. Can you see, G, how the baggage is consisting of these things?
Yeah.
So then adult bag, a child's bag are different. A child's bag also has all the impressions that are coming, but there is no mental modifications. Oh, I did that. For example, you will see a small child playing, and that's why all these classical examples are there. Let's say you are near a ocean playing, and you created a nice little monument, let's say a palace or something in the sand. A wave can come and take it away. And if you're okay with the wave coming and take it away, you have no problem. But if you feel you have to protect, you have a big problem. So what makes a difference, G?
So they move faster. Just drop it and
So there is
move to
no
them.
more, there is no more carrying all kinds of I did it, I should enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in little more fundamental sense, identity. I get identified as that role. I get identified as the one who is performing that role. So I get identified with doership. So I get identified. Now, the moment I got identified, I want the fruits of that action. So at the root of the problem is who I think I am. My identification in any particular process carries all the baggage. For example, if I get identified as this big officer, then let's imagine, there is a event going on, and I have been invited. Let's say that officer has been invited. How does one expect to be treated as an officer who has been invited to be chief guest? That somebody should come and open the door, and they should usher them into the front row, and then they should call out their name. They should give a big speech, right?
Yeah.
Let's say now this big officer comes to that event. Nobody is there to greet them. Nobody is there to tell them where to sit. How will that officer feel now?
Feels insulted.
Feels insulted. What made that fellow feel insulted?
Expectation and what he carries. Yeah.
What expectation? The expectation about how that role should be treated.
Yeah.
So in a way, though nobody came and said anything, that fellow feels insulted because he's carrying that deep identification with, I am an officer and I need to be treated like this.
Yeah.
I'll give you one another example, Ji. So let's say there's a marriage happening, and the newlyweds, they've been taking gifts and standing in the reception all through the day. And now the photographer, usually that is when they come in, no, come, let's take a family photo. Now, the mother-in-law of the newlywed, and then the father-in-law, they say, okay, first let's take the photo of the boy side family. So the mother-in-law comes, and the daughter-in-law and the son and the father. Let's say only this is a simple family, 4-member family. Where should the mother-in-law be in the photo frame? There's a chair. Usually there's a chair. Only 2 people can sit. Where do you think the mother-in-law should be and the father-in-law should be?
Next to the daughter-in-law.
Next to the daughter-in-law. But
Yeah.
who should sit and who should stand?
Who should sit and who should stand? I mean, the chairs are for the bride and the groom. So usually they should be seated. Yeah.
So the mother-in-law should be standing. That's what you are saying.
I mean, that actually depends. I mean, yeah.
No, depends on what. If you are that mother-in-law, what do you want to do?
Okay. Yeah. So it usually, I mean, the father and mother sit and the couple stand beside and take it. And that's again a pose, right? So
like that, now see, a simple situation has so many thinking involved in it.
yeah.
For example, let's say, if the mother-in-law feels, these 2 poor children have been standing all through the day.
A long time.
Let them sit. Let me stand. Somebody may come and tell this mother-in-law, hey, from today only, if you're standing, when you go back home, you know how she will treat you.
Yeah.
Isn't that how society injects various kinds of thoughts?
Right.
Now what that mother-in-law may feel, if I give up the control from today only, I'm left forever.
Right.
Now if she accepts that viewpoint and she says, I will show who is better. I will show who has to be sitting, who has to be standing. If she takes up that mindset, who? That mother-in-law. How that family will be, Ji?
All ego games, right?
From that day itself, the battle starts. Kurukshetra.
Yeah.
So now what made the Kurukshetra begin, Ji?
The thought process. Yeah.
And the thought process is linked to what? Was she
Society.
a mother-in-law before that marriage? That lady, whoever is
No.
the mother of that, she was not a mother-in-law.
Right.
But at that moment, when she has about to get into that role called mother-in-law, how she looks at her role, like how our Deepaji said, if I act with love in the heart, with an acceptance of the nature of the people in the thinking, and looking how best we can harmonize everybody and live, then how will that family be? It will be like a dharma kshetra. Otherwise, that same family will become Kurukshetra. So now tell me, Ji, what is the difference between a child and a long-faced adult?
Yeah. Again, there, like, it is bonded again, bonded by so many experiences. Yeah, bonded
Correct.
by
Correct. That is karma, Ji.
yes.
Karma means what? The action. What has action left? It has left an impression. If I continue to operate in the current moment with the impression, then I am bound. In this moment, a child doesn't carry that. As a child becomes an adult, it also learns the game of the world or the game of the adults and loses its natural joy. Natural joy. Why it is natural? A small baby also has it. Nobody gave it. Nobody can give it. You also have it. Even now, everyone has it. Just that it gets hidden by all these baggages that one is carrying. The baggage is the cloud that surrounds the sun called your intrinsic joy.
Mm.
When you learn to keep that baggage away for some time, all those moments you have felt happiness, Ji, when somebody says, oh, I felt so nice eating that ice cream. When eating that ice cream, just go zoom into that moment of eating ice cream. In the mind, there is no
No
more.
other thought.
Ah, that is a secret of identification, Ji. There is no more that baggage, the baggage of all those thoughts. When the baggage is kept aside, all those moments have been joyful for you. But the ice cream did not make you happy. But ice cream enabled you to keep the baggage. So consciously to begin with, because you have consciously gotten into a habit of becoming an adult, of being an adult. That is what the learning has been, no? All through this life, somebody has become an adult. That child, that innocent, joyful child has become an adult. So spirituality is really all about being the child you are. So a little bit of a practice of how to keep that away. So all the teaching that you see is to help you and me to keep that baggage away. And initially it has to be thought about, practiced consciously. As you become deeper and deeper in that practice, it becomes very natural because it is not something that new. You are already that. You've
Mm.
always been that. You are the very Paramananda, Brahmananda. But the joy of liberation, because there is a sorrow of bondage. Therefore, bondage has to be cut. Then the joy of liberation is felt. Does that bring clarity to your question, Satish?
Yeah, that's right. Yes, Suchi.
Wonderful. Asha ji, you wanted to share something, ji. Are you there, Asha ji?
Yeah, yes, Vijay. Just that I was traveling, so I couldn't talk initially, starting in the beginning.
Yes, ji. So, would you like to introduce yourself, or would you like to share your views on the questions?
Okay, with a small introduction, just I share my views. So myself, Asha, I reside in Bangalore. So basically, by profession, I am an engineering student. So I have worked with Wipro for 5 years, and then later, after marriage, because of few challenges, had to resign. And on and off, I've also tried to join school, and I worked for a couple of years as a teacher. But currently, I'm at home taking care of my two kids. So, how I came across Light of Self Foundation is like in between these challenges when I was facing, I was very deeply searching for answers. I was a seeker, like to know like why so much of suffering, or like whatever the day-to-day situations we come across, right? So it is not like that constant we are happy always, but in between we have to undergo so many things. Then we get disturbed, and it is not a very easy going thing. So that is when I started looking at YouTube to search, and not though not like you, I want to be happy always, but at least at peace. So that was my seeking. So in that way,
You don't like to be happy
I
always, is it?
G.
You don't like to be happy all the time, is it?
No, actually want to be happy only. But Vijay ji, we know that it is not I mean, a true case. It is not possible to remain happy always.
Not
Is
possible, ji.
the misconception, ji. It is because of our wrong understanding, might be at this point in time. But I got to know that we are already that happiness only. But maybe because of shortcomings, or because of our inability to understand what exactly the truth is. So we have been suffering, or we have been undergoing all that chaos, or like whatever we are to undergo. So that is when I just got to know that a friend of mine, a colleague in my office, just told me that so in case you want some answers for your questions, or so you have to read Gita, Bhagavad Gita. So it has all answers for your questions. Is what I got to know, and that is when I slowly started going through the text. And also, whenever I used to exhaustively search this internet, so everywhere I used to get the answer saying that meditation is is the ultimate like answer, or the process to undergo, um, which will give that kind of peace or happiness. So slowly I also experimented, like got to know few of the meditation practices of one is art of living. The heartfulness is one more system where they follow a different kind of practice. And one more is the Pyramid Valley International. So after going all through this, then finally I found one day I got connected with Light of Self Foundation. So basically, whenever I encountered all of these and got to know like what exactly their practice is, and when I heard Prabhuji's talk, so maybe that kind of like whatever that thirst or whatever that quest for my search, I felt very close, and I slowly felt that all my questions were being answered. So that is how I got my association with Light of the Self Foundation. And whenever I hear to these talks, still that a lot of questions and doubts, it keeps popping on. It is not that once I just get to hear and I'm liberated, or that also can happen. But again, that has a direct connection to know with that how much, that ajnana, that this is that, what to say, the dirt collection, how much is there, and so much cleansing has to happen. And for that to happen, this constant satsang and association with this Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana has to happen. And so that is how I'm just associated with Light of the Self. And it has helped me also personally. A lot of understanding, lot of wiping of that misunderstandings has also happened. Okay, in that way, I'm here. Maybe in between, on and off, I've not been completely with the satsang, but I'm there. So to answer the first question, what is Advaita? So Advaita basically means there is no two, there's only one. Non-duality means ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಒಂದೇ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುವಂತ ಮಾತು ಅದ್ವೈತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ. To say with day-to-day example, knowledge is different and experience is different. Knowledge, when we read or when we get to know things, it's superficially we feel that, okay, it is what we have understood. But when it comes with our experience, the understanding is very thorough. For that to just, if I have to tell with my own experience, so when it comes to, say, my child, okay, and when it is others, a child of my neighbor, a child whom I see in my neighbor, that difference is there. When it is my child, my feeling is different. And when it is other child, the association is different. 1 minute. Hello.
Yeah, please
Okay,
continue.
so in that way, there is a difference because the association is that, like whatever you have been telling so long, that is that identification that who I am, or maybe I have to get that recognition, or that maybe somebody is saying that you are great, or that applaud, or that whatever, so many things. Because of that, I'm trying to identify and say that he is my son, and I'm getting that joy or that happiness because I'm associating and getting that recognition. And it is that I want that happiness again and again. So is my quest, and it doesn't last long. say suppose my son is listening to me and I'm very happy. But the moment there is a deviation that he doesn't listen to me and he's not acting according to my will and disturbed. So there is a difference. There is a difference. But the same thing when a neighbor child is doing, I'm not disturbed. So in that way, I'm feeling that separateness. I'm not feeling that the child, a neighbor child, and the child of mine is same. So that is where the disturbance or that unhappiness is happening. But when the feeling everything is same and one, I guess that such kind of disturbance or unpleasure thing would not happen. So this is what is Advaita, to realize that we all are out of that same uh, divine, and when we feel that we all are same and there is no difference, irrespective of whatever the situation or anything, when we feel that sense of oneness, uh, then everything is as, that is always there. That happiness or you are that happiness. When I'm that same Paramatma and this Jivatma, if it is feeling that there is no difference between me and that, then I think so we would not be so much disturbed. So in that way, with the day-to-day example, I feel Advaita is that there is no duality. Everything is same. And out of that, we don't get, sukha, dukkha. That difference doesn't arise. And coming to the next question, what is Brahmananda? So Brahmananda or joy of liberation. So this is the kind of joy where you can't explain it. More of it, you have to feel it. So it is something which doesn't come and go. So whereas everything else is impermanent in the sense, it comes and goes. So when, for example, say suppose I like music. So when I'm in that association or when I hear to music, I feel that peace. But when I'm away from it, or we are doing some other job which we are not very comfortable, so that is when we are disturbed and we are not with that peace kind of. But depending on the situation, our happiness or our sense of being happy is tending to change time to time. But irrespective of the situation, whether uh, that conducive situation is there or not, if I'm able to be at peace or in happiness all the time, maybe that is called as bliss, or that is Brahmananda. But as long as this seeking is there, seeking for that pleasure, I want that happiness. Maybe it is because of either through our knowledge, that wanting to gain that knowledge, or wanting to hoard something, or wanting to gain some wealth. It might be because of various reasons. I'm trying to seek that pleasure, and unless until I'm trying to associate and identify with that pleasure, I will not be able to be happy, because that comes and goes. It is like uh, uh, happiness is immediately followed by a pain. So this is coming and going. It is not that thing that is unchanging. So it is consistently changing, and we are reliable on that. So we are feeling that pain and pleasure all time. So this Brahmananda is some eternal thing which doesn't change. So in order to experience that, uh, we have to feel that we are one with the space. I mean, we are no different. We are not a separate entity, but we are one with the. I mean, everything that has originated is out of that space. Once we realize and once we get established in this truth, maybe we will be able to experience that Brahmananda all the time. But this avidya, like avidya is not knowing about our true self. That is the knowledge about the self, what exactly the Atma is. Whenever I used to read this, I'm not this body. Reading just, I mean, superficially, we know that I'm not this body, I'm not this mind, I'm not this intellect. But still, in order to understand that I am that Atma, is not just that easy to understand that. There are many ways to understand this, like bhakti, then dhyana, karma. All these yogas are there to understand that. But what I have felt is like it is this jnana marga alone is very easier to for us to take us to that truth or liberation. See, no, none of us would like to be bound. I mean, we do not like to be under somebody or we get dictated. We always want to be free. So, in order to be free, that is the freedom. Freedom is what I feel is Brahmananda. So for this all understanding to happen, this avidya in us has to go away, and for that to happen, to get established. So it is also not, I mean, all of a sudden. So that has to get established in us deeper and deeper, and consciously for us to happen, like how like I'm not sure, like Vijayji said, right? It is the inherent nature of the child to be happy, or like whatever the sugar, its sweetness. For this to happen in us, I mean, maybe we have to undergo this satsang, and then every day that understanding has to happen, and being in the satsang and going through all this, definitely one day, or even I'm not sure, like if it happens right now here, uh, only this jnana can liberate us, and that has been happening, and I'm also in the process. So in that way, I'm very much grateful to Prabhuji and also Vijayji.
Thank you, Vijayji.
Thank you, Vijay.
Wonderful. Are there any other questions or any other expressions anybody wants to offer? All right. So if there is none, let us end our contemplation for today here. Hari Om. Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.